Hello, everyone, and welcome back to BenchWire. We got a brand new podcast in store for you guys today. Football is back, BenchWire is back, and we're back from our long hiatus since the NFL draft. We've been enjoying our summer, but we are happy and we are back, and hopefully you guys are as well. If you guys want to see more BenchWire content on the channel, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We would really appreciate it. Make sure to go follow our socials. We got a link tree down below, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, whatever you want to name it, Facebook. We got everything. Go check it out. But yeah, we are back. We're going to have podcasts every week starting up until the regular season on Wednesday. So you're going to be seeing this video on Wednesday. So enjoy podcasts every Wednesday. And then from here on out until the start of the regular season, I believe is that first week of September, we're going to have every other week a tier list on Fridays, so be on the lookout for that. We still have not planned out what tier list we're going to be doing this week, but it will be coming out this week. And once again, I am joined by my co-host, Justin. Justin, how are we doing today?
You know, it feels so good to be back in front of my laptop talking to the BenchWire audience. I've missed it so much. My summer wouldn't have been complete without coming out here one time before the start of the regular season to chop it up with you. Because there have been some happenings in the NFL, right? We had the Hall of Fame induction, the Hall of Fame game, the kickoff, Cowboys drama. They're not all in. They're not paying who, what? It's just crazy. The Giants off-season hard knocks. We got the Bears one starting. It's mad. It's still madness, man. So we got a lot to catch up on.
Yes, we have a lot to unpack here, but let's get started. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame game and the Hall of Fame inductees. So we had a class of what, 7 or so people? I'm not counting, but I believe we got a lot of Hall of Fame inductees, and we wanted to congratulate them before we start off this podcast. So Patrick Willis has been inducted. We got Dwight Freeney, Devin Hester, Julius Peppers, Andre Johnson, Randy Gradishar, Steve McMichael, and yeah, that is our list for the Hall of Fame class for 2024. A lot of great players there, a lot of players that I grew up watching, and then some guys I didn't know back in the 80s that finally are getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. We wanted to congratulate them here today, and, just a lot of studs on that list. I just remember watching Patrick Willis for his little short career back in early 2010s. Man was a stud, and for sure Devin Hester, one of the best kick returners in the league history, and Julius Peppers was a monster. Andre Johnson being the first Texan to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. It was a great class. But yeah, well, I want to hear your thoughts, Justin, about that class.
It's just an absolute dog of a class, right? Andre Johnson, I always remember him for fighting, Kyle Finnegan or whatever, the corner from Tennessee. I always remember him for messing that dude up, hitting him with his fist, man. That was awesome. Absolute dog. Loved him on fantasy, too. Yeah, Patrick Willis, a force to be reckoned with on the inside. Definitely an absolute dog. Freeney, I remember from his Colts day, but he did hop around, and I'm like, I don't remember him hopping around as much as he did. I always remembered him on the Colts, but hell of a career for him, too. And yeah, the Randy Gradishar, Steve McMichael, didn't get to watch them, but I know they were on highly touted teams. Randy Gradishar with the Orange Crush Broncos. Hell of a defense there. And the 85 Bears, monsters of the Midway. Come on. Holding up the middle of that D-line was McMichael. That's awesome, too. And yeah, who am I missing? Devin Hester, man. Electric kick returner. Man, I don't know if you remember, Madden 2011 or whatever. I would love kick returning with Devin Hester, just scoring.
Dude, he was a dog.
He was a beast in Madden. He was awesome.
I believe he was the first player in NFL history to return a opening kick in the Super Bowl. So
yeah,
he's pretty darn good. But yeah, anything else you had to say before I cut you off there?
Am I forgetting anyone on that list? Let me just take a double check. I don't want to. Julius Peppers, of course.
Dog.
I remember Bears, Panthers, Packers, standing for a little bit. Absolute dog too. But I want to bring it back to Devin Hester. I wonder if Devin Hester watched that Hall of Fame game and he was like, "Damn," licking his chops, like, "Man, I could have done some damage with those kickoff rules back in my day."
Yeah.
Because Which brings us to our next topic.
Yep. Let's talk about it. So we got to see on full display the full new kickoff rule. So I think they line up at the 40-yard line or whatever, and they're neck and neck with each other. And they cannot move the offense or the blockers and the defenders. They cannot move until the ball is touched, I believe, or if the ball is in the landing zone, I believe, which is within the 20-yard line and back. So once I believe the ball is touched, then everyone can play and the play is live. So I like it from an aspect that it keeps the players, safe and all that. But I think the new kickoff rule, it ruins the tradition of a kickoff. It doesn't look traditional because we've been used to the traditional kickoff for years now, over 50 plus years of NFL football, the traditional kickoff where, everyone's lined up where they're supposed to be. It just doesn't look traditional, doesn't look real. It's going to take time to getting used to, but I like that's going to keep players safe and it's going to lead to more production on kickoff returns. There's not going to be a lot of touchbacks with this new rule. So that I do like about it. It's just going to take some time to get used to, but all in all, it looks fun. It looks fun. There's going to be more production out of it. So I like that aspect of it. What's your thoughts on it?
I liked a lot of your points that you said. The first one being there's not going to be as much touchbacks. I didn't really like how with the old kickoff, you boot the ball and they don't catch it in the end zone and rolls out. There's no returns happening. But what this does is it allows for more returns to happen. And it does make it a little bit safer for the full-blown impact, where if you're running down, barreling someone, I've seen a lot of injuries happen, a lot of career-ending injuries happen when when a guy runs down and hits a returner, hits a guy. So I get it from that sense, but does it in a way create more contact though? I get it, you're not running full speed and barreling into the guy, but you're now forcing the guy to return it. So you're still creating more contact in that way, and you're trying to make the game safer. So I got a mixed bag with it. I'm like, you got rid of the touchbacks. That's cool. It's going to be weird to see, but you're still creating more contact, I feel like, because they still have to bring the ball out. It seems like they can't. I don't know what the rule is with fair catches. Do they bring it out to 25 still? I don't know exactly. Haven't really looked too much into the new kickoff rule. You can elaborate on that point too, but it seems like it still does create contact. And like I said, it's about a 5 to 10 yard gap between the blockers and the rushers. So they could still hit each other pretty good, give someone a good shot. But yeah, I mean, I get the thought of it, but I don't know. Does it create more contact? We just have to wait and find out until the regular season comes. But it puts a lot on the special teams coordinators' plate, and I wonder if there's going to be more or less kick returns in that way. With this new rule too, it might create more, but I'm not sure. I want to say it does because they're forced to return it more.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it creates more opportunity for them to score, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Yeah, I feel like there is probably going to be more contact, but I think less powerful contact as running full speed. So I think there's going to be more hand fights and all that, but I don't think it's going to be devastating contact like you would see on traditional kickoffs. But enough with the kickoffs. You can let us know down below. Do you like the new kickoff rule? We would like to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions about that. But let's talk about another topic. So recently, the NFL Top 100 list voted by the players for this past season just came out. The full Top 100. We know everyone ranked from 100 to 1. And number 1 was not Mr. Patrick Mahomes. It was his former receiver, Tyreek Hill, wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins. So, Justin, just have to ask, is it crazy Mahomes was not ranked number 1 out of the top 100 players for last season?
It was, because you have to think it was impressive run he had in the postseason. Yeah, I get it. His regular season wasn't up to his standard. I think he'd be the first one to tell you that. But also, the offense kind of changed around him. It was a lot of learning curves there too. But once the playoffs rolled, that's where it matters. That's where your legacy's on the line. When the lights are the brightest, he always shows up. He's never missed an AFC Championship game. He is, without a doubt, already a first ballot Hall of Famer. And yeah, he was the best player too. He was incredible in that playoff run. And yeah, he made players like Rashid Rice better. Like his receivers got better too. So as the season progressed, so he's a true leader, and he's the bona fide number one in my eyes, no question.
I agree. I believe Mahomes should have been the number one overall player. I don't know like how they do the voting system. Like, is it based solely off of the regular season, or is it including the playoffs? Like, if it's including the playoffs, you got to put Mahomes there at one. He just does it again and again. But if it's only including regular season, I kind of understand why Tyreek Hill was one. But then you can argue Lamar should have been one because he was the MVP. Or you can argue McCaffrey should have been one because he won Offensive Player of the Year. So there's a lot of arguments that can be made if it's just based solely off the regular season. But if it's including the whole entire season, including the postseason, Mahomes should have been number one on this list. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, does it again and again, and they weren't even favorited in this game. The Niners were favorites. So, like, the fact that Mahomes can just do it again and again, he should have been number one. He's the best player in this league, and, he's on pace to be a Tom Brady. He's on pace. We're not going to say he is, but he's on pace to strive for that greatness that Tom Brady is, the GOAT. So
he could be the first back-to-back Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, like he has a chance to three-peat here. Like that would be nuts. So you gotta give Mahomes some props here, and he should have been one on this list if you're including the whole postseason as well with the regular season. So I don't know what they do on the voting. Like, does it include the postseason? I don't know the full terminology on what they clarify to vote for the top 100 players. Like, Aaron Rodgers made this list, and he played 4 snaps, so I don't understand that. I get that for respect. Like, Aaron Rodgers, he's great and all that. But, like, for last season, you voted him into the top 100? That's ridiculous for only playing 4 snaps. So I get that the players vote for this, but I wonder, do they actually fill out a whole list of 100 players, or they only do like 25 or so, and then the list gets made that way? So, like, I wonder if they actually fill out a whole list, and like how many players vote on this list. Like, I want to know like the whole terminology that goes through voting to complete the top 100 NFL list.
So, I know it's a player's vote, and I know the NFL will post like not who it's from, but they'll show you like the top 10 at least, and it'll be different for every player. So like someone could write Tyreek Hill 1, and then someone else could have Myles Garrett 1. So I don't know how they calculated and they arrived at Tyreek Hill. Maybe he had the most number 1 votes, which I get it. He's electrifying. He's an electric player for sure. He had a great regular season, but like you said, is it count in postseason? Because it take an awfully long time to do it. If it was a regular season, why don't they come out with this list sooner and say, hey, it's based off what we've done in the regular season? It's not really a postseason thing. But why are you waiting until August, late July, August, to roll out the list of all the guys that made it? Which makes it weird because the last thing we remember is Mahomes in the Super Bowl and he won. And he has 3 Super Bowls, and we're like, we're not going to give him number 1. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. So I wish they would like clarify like how the voting system works for this NFL top 100 list by the players, so then us fans don't get mad and we know how it all goes down. So I just wish they would clarify that
for us. Where did Mahomes fall on the list? Where was he?
He ranked number 4. So it was Tyreek, and then Lamar at 2, McCaffrey at 3, and then Mahomes was 4. So if it's counting regular season, I kind of understand it, but I feel like Mahomes should still be 1. I know he didn't have the greatest regular season, but So I don't know. Is it only including regular season?
AFC Championship game, he outplayed Lamar, the number 2.
Exactly.
He played better.
So that's another reason why he should be ahead of Lamar. But Lamar did win MVP, so that might be why he's at 2.
Yeah.
If it's only including regular season. But we didn't know that he won MVP if you're only counting the regular season. We don't know that. So, but he was the highest, I guess, in MVP odds at that time. So, yeah, there's a lot of question marks that we should know as fans, but they won't let us know.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but Tyreek Hill, he just got paid. He just got the bag. He just had a great week. So congrats to him, and his quarterback got paid, Tua, as well. But let's talk about the Cowboys. They got to pay some people now, all right? So we got a little question here, Justin. So out of the big three that are up for contract coming soon, so who gets paid? Who gets paid? Who do you think the Cowboys should pay first, right? Should they pay Ceedee Lamb first? Should they pay Dak? Should they pay Micah? Who do you think the Cowboys should pay first? Then after you answer that, who do you think they should pay first?
I'll give you a 2-for-1 special.
Ooh.
I think, and what I think they are going to do is they're going to pay Ceedee Lamb. He's the one holding out of camp, so he's really forcing the issue. Mm-hmm. And look, if you look at the Cowboys offense, who's your number one? Jalen Tolbert, Brandon Cooks, Jake Ferguson. Who's that going to have to throw the ball to? And see, guys, your running game. So you're going to have a pretty non-existent run game. So you need to get your number one receiver back. So I feel like in that case, you have to bring Ceedee back before the regular season starts. And then you see how the season goes. And then that could be contingent on how they finish, if they want to give Dak his bag or not. If you see what I'm saying. If he could go to NFC Championship, that might warrant a new contract for him, for instance. I think it's Ceedee, because you have Jamar Chase still needs his bag too. So if you could they waited long enough already. Like you mentioned, Tyreek got a restructured deal. AJ Brown got another extension. Devontae Smith, who came a year later, he got paid before Ceedee. So Ceedee's sitting there. Justin Jefferson got paid, and Amon-Ra St. Brown too. Other great receivers. So he has a case to be had that, hey, I should get paid. And he can make a legitimate argument that he should be the highest paid receiver based off what he did last season. So I feel like with that receiver room going, you got to beat the Jamar Chase deal before that money goes up any higher. So that's, if you don't do anything, that you didn't do anything this offseason, but the one thing you have to do is pay Ceedee Lamb before anyone else. So that's my opinion.
Okay. All right. So I'm kind of 50-50 here. So who do I think the Cowboys should pay first? They should probably pay Ceedee Lamb first. You want to get him in the building, right? You want that offense to be flowing, and he just hasn't been in there. I know he's been training, doing his own little thing off to the side, but you want him in there because, the offense is so reliant on Ceedee Lamb that you need to have him in the building, and so your quarterback can have that connection. They don't lose it. And he's one of the best playmakers in the NFL. As of last year, he was probably top 3 receiver. Like, he was pretty much the whole offense. They relied on him a lot. Okay? So I think Ceedee Lamb, out of those 3, the Cowboys should pay first. But who do I think they should pay first? So I think they should pay Dak first. And the reason being, Dak Prescott is going to be commanding a lot of money now that Jordan Love is the highest paid quarterback. I forget what, I think it's like $55 million, around that range, right?
Yeah, it's 55, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And, I think Dak is going to want more than that, obviously. And I think he has more to his resume. Jordan Love's only played 1 year, and he's already the highest paid quarterback. I think Dak will command more. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I would say top 10. Like, he's around the top 10, the top 12 range every year, right? He leads the Cowboys at 12-plus win seasons for the past, few years, right? I think Dak is going to command a lot of money. And the longer you wait, the more money you're going to have to fork over to Dak Prescott. Like, he could be commanding 60, 65 range, right? And then we got some more quarterbacks that are coming up here. So you want to make sure you get that deal done first, because it's really hard to, be in that situation where you don't have a quarterback, and there's going to be other teams that are quarterback needy teams that want to pay a Dak Prescott all this money. So you want to make sure that you can convince Dak to stay in Dallas and pay him now so that price doesn't drive up. I get that Ceedee Lamb, he's really good. He's one of the best receivers right now in the NFL. But he's not going to command as much money as a Dak Prescott. So you want to figure that deal out first. And then once you figure that out, then you could start talking to Ceedee. Then you could start talking to Micah, because that's going to eat up most of your cap. So I think they should pay Dak first, solely because you don't want to worry about the quarterback problem. Yeah, he hasn't taken you to the promised land yet, but that's not all his fault. It's been a multitude of things. Is it Mike McCarthy? Is it the defense? Like, there's a lot of reasons why the Cowboys haven't gotten over the hump. And I won't say that Dak is one of those problems. And you don't want to have a quarterback problem later. So might as well get the Dak deal done now so you don't have to worry about that. And then you can worry about those other guys like Ceedee and Micah, because he's going to ask for a lot of money if you keep on waiting. So I'd rather get that deal done today than, get the Ceedee deal done or the Micah deal done. So that's what I would do, because it's a quarterback and he's more of a cap hit. So that's where I stand with the Cowboys situation.
Yeah, I guess my only retort to that is, if you don't pay Ceedee first, if you don't pay him at all, right, and he holds out for games, then that can hurt your season. So I feel like that's why I say I think you should, and I think that's what the Cowboys are going to do before the season starts, is to pay him so that they give Dak a shot, and this is Dak's last chance, I guess, in their eyes to really see, can he take us there, or does he have another playoff under? Did they pivot? Did it go another way and save that cap to bring in someone else next year? So it keeps their options open if they wait to pay Dak till maybe sometime during the season they could pay him if he's really balling out and he's playing his way into MVP conversation like he did a year ago. So that's all up for debate too. So I get where you're coming from. Yes, he's going to command more. He's going to be a bigger cap hit, but you throw away your season if you don't pay Ceedee Lamb first and get him in the building. So that's why I said Ceedee. But your points are valid on the cap hit and taking care of your most prestigious guy, which is your quarterback first, though. I totally get it. But that's my stance on the whole Cowboys drama, the contract drama there.
Yeah. We will see what happens, but I think Ceedee gets paid. I think that's what the Cowboys are going to do first. I do. But in my opinion, I think Dak should get paid first because, the cap and all that. So we'll see what happens. Let us know down below on what you think the Cowboys will do, and then let us know on what you think they should do. Who should they pay first? Let us know. But let's change topic. So there's a little fight today at the Giants and Lions joint practice, because they got a game coming up this Thursday, the first preseason game between the two teams, Giants and Lions. I believe it was at the Quest Diagnostic Center today.
It was. Yes.
Yeah, because I think it's going to be at MetLife on Thursday. But yeah, I think there was 3 fights in total. I know Daniel Jones got in a little fight. I don't know. I think Amon-Ra got in a little fight with our rookie cornerback, Andrew Phillips from Kentucky. Supposedly he locked him up, and then Amon-Ra wasn't having it because I think Andrew Phillips was talking trash to him, and then they just got in a fight, and then it just broke out. And then I think Daniel Jones started a fight because one of the D linemen pretty much, I think, pancaked our offensive lineman, and he was just laying on him, and then Daniel Jones wanted to, stand up for his guy. So that's what he did. I forget the lineman. I think it was one of our guards. I don't know if he was a starter, but I know it was number 70-something. So it was one of our guards, and he was just standing up for him. But, yeah. And I don't remember what the other fight was about, but
I remember I read somewhere, if I may chip in, that Andrew Thomas had a big block on Terrion Arnold. I think that led to a scuffle. I'm pretty sure.
That might be other fight. Yeah,
he went down to
too sure.
I don't know if it was a blindside block he had or something, but I think that
I think I saw
spark
that.
the tempers. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just pancaked them and shoved them to the side. I
Yeah,
think that's what
I
just
think
happened
so.
because it was
Yeah.
like a run play and he was just running out and just blocked the guy and pancaked him. But yeah, that's what you want to
That's
see.
fun.
You want to see those kind of fights. They're fun. People are standing up for the team. Daniel Jones was doing what he had to do, and he's trying to show the Giants why he should be the franchise quarterback. I like that he's standing up for his team. Just don't get hurt in a fight. Just protect yourself. I get that you want to show up for your team as teammates and stand up for them, but just don't get hurt. You're already coming off a torn ACL, and you're already overthrowing people so far to start off the camp. But Malik Neighbors, he's been looking good. He's been looking like a stud. He had 8 targets today in the practice, and he caught all 8 balls. So it was a good practice. He's been showing up. He's been balling so far in training camp. Hopefully he keeps it up, stays healthy, and can be a productive receiver for the Giants because they haven't had one since probably Odell Beckham Jr. That was probably their last best offensive playmaker, I guess you could say. And then also, let's talk about a little bit of Giants Hard Knocks, if you guys watched it. Hard Knocks, the off season with the New York Giants, the full season just wrapped up. It was like a 5-episode series. It was cool seeing the behind the scenes, seeing the Saquon drama, seeing what goes into an NFL draft, how they prepare. It was cool seeing all the behind the scenes on decisions that were made by Joe Shane and company, and just getting to listen in on these combine interviews and hearing Dable just rant and rave about Malik Neighbors and just hearing him rave about Jaden Daniels. It's cool just seeing behind the scenes and the Giants giving us all that content. I had a lot of fun watching it, and as a Giants fan, it was really cool to see the decision behind Saquon and why they shouldn't pay him, because they have a lot to do right now. They have to rebuild this team from the ground up, and they don't have enough money right now to pay for a premier back when you still got to retool the offensive line, and that's what they did. And they did a great job of showing John Runyon why we should sign him, and Jermaine Illuminor, the connection with the Raiders offensive line coach that we just got over from Las Vegas last year. Just seeing all the cool little bits and pieces behind the scenes, seeing the Brian Burns trade unfold, and seeing how the connection Joe Shane had with Dan Morgan. It was great content, a lot of content that I love seeing. And as a Giants fan, it was just cool just seeing the whole process unfold. And yeah, I respect the Giants a lot for releasing that content, because there's a lot of teams that are like, I do not want to do that, and they did it, and kudos to them. It was a great documentary, I guess you could call it, and I had a good time watching it. And any thoughts and opinions about Hard Knocks? I kind of just said pretty much everything, but
yeah, not much more to add, I guess. I enjoyed. I didn't watch it too much, but I seen the clips online. But yeah, like you said, unprecedented access. That was great to see. An NFL front office, doesn't matter what team, but an NFL front office make decisions. So that was really cool to see. And I loved the memes that came out too. I mean, the Saquon memes of John Mara saying, "No, I don't think I won't be able to sleep at night because of Philadelphia." Well,
he's like, I'm
we
gonna
are
have heart
now.
palpitations. I remember he said that. I think that was about the draft if we traded up for a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna have heart palpitations if we trade up. But yeah.
Yeah, and see Joe Shane's kid being the reason they picked Malik Neighbors too. That was awesome. So
yeah.
get that kid a job.
Well, I think his son originally wanted Jaden Daniels. I think his son's name's Carson. Carson wanted Jaden Daniels, and then he's like, if you get Jaden Daniels, or you get Drake May, or you get Malik Neighbors, you can't go wrong. And yeah, essentially he was right. You can't go wrong if you get one of those 3 players, and we just got the one that fell to us. So all in all, I like the series. It's a great, seeing the behind the scenes documentary access of the Hard Knocks was cool. But now let's move on to receiver. Let's talk about receiver on Netflix. So it was cool seeing Debo and George Kittle and Amon-Ra, Justin Jefferson, and Devontae Adams all on there. It's cool seeing that. Is there any player in particular that you liked watching during that show?
I know you're gonna say him too, but I'll say him real quick. He's been one of my favorite players for a while. George Kittle George Kittle's always awesome. He always brings the sauce on the field. He plays with a lot of passion and fire, and getting to see the behind the scenes of him, I didn't realize he was like grounded, and like his dad keeps him grounded. And he says like, breathe in health, exhale pain. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. To like you go through an NFL game, you get hit hard, right? He got hit in the Super Bowl, and his shoulder was messed up, and he's in the wear and tear of the season, and playing through a game. That was really cool to see, like how he deals with pain throughout a season. That was really cool. And I liked Justin Jefferson too. Justin Jefferson was a pretty cool guy. What I expected to see from him, a good family guy, good teammate. That I didn't think he was that great of a teammate until I saw him. Like, oh, he cares about his guys, so that sheds some light there. And Amon-Ra speaking German was cool too. I wasn't really expecting that. And his dad seems awesome too, by the way. He seems really cool. Yeah, I liked what I saw from Amon-Ra, and I thought the whole cast was good. I thought Debo was kind of like the forgotten one. He was just there. It was just like Kittle, and then they're like, oh yeah, here's Debo.
So tag along, yeah,
and then,
Debo.
And then like, oh yeah, I forgot Debo was on it, but it was good. It was good too. And that Eagles episode hurt me because Debo went off on us that game. And Devontae was cool. He had an interesting moment where I was really captivated by like the hospital ball, so to speak, that they were throwing, and him getting animated and pissed off on the sidelines, like, oh, I'm gonna effing die out here because like Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't doing it. I'm like, oh damn, I didn't realize he was like that animated about that. He was heated. I enjoyed him too. He's like, he said something too, like he cares about his legacy more than like the wins and losses, which it was interesting too, because it makes it seem like he's a selfish player. But I guess from his point, if he's producing, they're winning. Because like if you go back to his Green Bay days, Rodgers fed him and he was playing great, and they're making it to at least the divisional round every year. So I guess that's his point there. But yeah, it was a really good cast. I really enjoyed it. So what's your thoughts?
I'll just keep it short and simple. I think the fan favorite of that show was George Kittle by far. He was the funniest receiver or tight end, whatever you want to call him. He's a receiver because he does it all. On that show, it was just cool seeing like the behind the scenes, like having that inside access. Just seeing like all the injuries they went throughout the whole season. Just seeing like how he could just pop in, go in the blue tent, and just pop right out, and like nothing happened. And they would just like give him like all the needles and stuff, and do the numbing cream for his shoulder and all that. It was like cool seeing like how fast and quick of a turnaround like a player can get back on the field after just having a major injury to their shoulder or wherever it was. But yeah, it was just cool seeing that, and just seeing like Devontae Adams and Antonio Pierce, like once he joined, like seeing that connection and that camaraderie like right away, like the team was just so much better because all in all, I think everyone loved and wanted to be, part of the Raiders culture when Antonio Pierce took over because he cared about the players, where Josh McDaniels tried to be all the Patriot way and all that. But all in all, it was a great show. Is there a certain position group that you want to see next for the next, I guess, Netflix season?
I want to say Amon-Ra playing through that like torn oblique or whatever.
Oh, then he had
that was crazy.
Well, he had the foot mouth disease or whatever it was called.
He played through a lot. I was like, damn, I didn't realize that. Yeah, it was crazy. He's a tough dude. Yeah, that's crazy. Position group. I feel like they might go running back, and I feel like that'd be cool to see the running back. But what I want to see, because we got receiver, I know the defensive backs will have similar personalities too. And it's like, okay, you get the receivers. Now let's see how a defensive back approaches to covering receivers. Like, I would like to see like a Patrick Surtain, a Sauce Gardner, like a Darius Slay, like those guys. Like Slay could bring the personality, Sauce Gardner too, and Surtain. Like bring the top corners in. Like Jalen Ramsey would be another good one. Like get those guys in, and like get the other side of the ball and how they cover like the top receivers. I think that would be my number one choice. But I feel like they'll go running back, but I'd rather see the corners. defensive back.
Yeah. I feel like they're still going to keep the offensive side of the ball because I feel like more people have fun watching the offensive side of the ball. But if they were to do defense, I like corners, but I was going to suggest edge rushers. I feel like there's a lot of like fun personalities with edge rushers. They could do Micah,
True.
they could do T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett. The list goes on and on. So I feel like that should be a group they should at least consider for the next season. But yeah, great shows coming out this offseason with Hard Knocks and Receiver, and then you got Hard Knocks coming up for the training camp for the Bears. So there's a lot of content for us NFL fans out there. And then there's even more content. Let's talk about it. They're adding flag football to the 2028 Olympics. There was just a short little announcement video. I'll probably clip it in here. But yeah, Jalen Hurts pretty much, there's an announcement video of him like lighting a ball on fire, and he threw it and it lit up the torch, and it just showed the Coliseum. It was like 2028 Olympics. It was like men and women flag football. So I think that's pretty cool, incorporating flag football into the Olympics. It'd be cool to see like which NFL stars are going to, represent the USA in the Olympics. So that should be cool. But yeah, I wonder if it's going to be like 7-on-7 or like how many players they're going to allow. 11-on-11, they're going to have offensive linemen in there. I don't know how that would work.
But I feel like it'd be like 7-on-7 with just, a guy snapping it.
But yeah, your thoughts about it?
I know the NFL's trying to make the game more global, and they are making strides in that. They're incorporating a lot more international games. And that's always a good thing to do. But I feel like it would just be a U.S. cakewalk, right? It's not like basketball where now your best players in the NBA are all Europeans, right? You got Wembanyama coming up. You got Luka. You got Jokic. You got Giannis. It's like with the NFL, it's like all the best players are American. Like, who are you going to play against? That's
I feel like there is going to be some kind of, talent.
There's going to be a talent discrepancy. Yeah, there's going to be a talent discrepancy for sure.
Trying to find the word. It's going to be hard to actually do that. Yeah, I didn't think of that. But it's going to be cool to watch some football during the Olympics. That's all that matters.
But it's just going to be like dudes that played football that work a 9 to 5. Like, oh yeah, I played that a little bit. I played that for a year. But
right.
Like they have to go line up. Oh, I got lined up against Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson. Wow,
this is awesome.
Look, oh no, it's going to be Mahomes and Jalen Hurts at quarterback. Oh god.
Yeah,
so Lamar Jackson, whatever. Yeah.
The talent drop off, that's going to be something to look out for. So I don't know how fun it will be when we watch it in 2028, but we'll see how it goes.
It'll have to greatly improve to be entertaining. Like we have to get like some.
They have to prepare the next 4 years for sure.
What is Jay Ajayi going to come out of retirement and play for Great Britain? Like what's
right? How's that going to work?
I don't know.
I think we pretty much covered everything for all the topics for this podcast episode. I think we can end it off here. Also want to do a quick little announcement. We're not going to do seasons anymore with BenchWire. We're going to I'm going to combine all the episodes and just call this episode number whatever whenever I calculate that total. And we're not going to have seasons. So I can say this is episode 50 whatever. So we'll figure that out. I'll do the math, and you can look forward to seeing what episode we're on the next episode. But if you guys did enjoy this episode, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We would really appreciate it. We got a lot of content coming your guys' way. Football is right around the corner. The Hall of Fame game just happened. Preseason's coming up this Thursday. A lot to look forward to. Go follow us on our social medias. We got everything down our link tree down below, so go check that out. And any final words before we sign off here, Justin?
I miss you guys, and I love the old people.
Oh, yes, the old people. Yes, we are on Facebook. So if you are a subscriber of Facebook or you're just on Facebook, we're on there. So go check us out.
And to my old people, tell me who Steve McMichael and Randy Grandishaw are. That'd be great. Comment down below.
I would like to know more about them because they were not in my time period when I watched them. Yes. So they're just not in my era. So we got to just figure that out on who they are. Maybe they can give us a little.
We rely heavily on your wisdom and experience.
Exactly.
That's why we love old people.
So Old people, subscribe, leave a like, do what you guys always do, and we'll catch you guys later. BenchWire.
Out.